see how long it might take for people to get notified. We shall see. We shall see. So look around at my phone. Doesn't look like anybody has been notified yet. So we will keep checking. Ah! People have been notified! Excellent! Hi, Sexy Kitten and Shaylin Lukatich. Hello, hello. And Alicia L. Sydney Mamos, KGB. Hello. Awesome. Hello, hello. Yay. I'm glad that it's letting some people know. We'll see how that works in terms of people coming on. While I look up how long it's been since the last time that we did a live stream, because I think it has been a minute. Oh, Chrissy Hansen, hello, hello, and Michelle Beanerman, hello. Tackle hugs B and covers her in love and light. Thank you. I need that. Let's see. The last stream we did was on March 9th. So that's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This makes 7 weeks exactly. So almost 2 months. Let me check again. 1, 2. I'm trying not to do this, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I'm trying not to get stuck in a loop on counting. 7. So I counted right. I don't need to count again. Don't need to count again. 7 weeks. 7 weeks since we last had a live stream. So almost 2 months ago, not quite, but almost 2 months ago it's been since we've done a live stream. So I'm glad that we're able to connect again here, y'all. Glad. Every time I'm like, it's not going to be that long next time. I'm going to be able to do this in like 2 weeks or a month or something. Don't let it get that long. And then every time some shit happens, I swear, the world right now, my life right now, is just, I'm figuring it out. Aw, Sexy Kitten, thank you. Aw, that's so sweet of you. Thank you for the super chat. And you said, missed you. I missed you too. I missed you too, Sexy Kitten. I missed all of y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Hey, Rebecca Rankin. Hello, hello. Oh, goodness. It's great to see y'all here. Yeah, it's been a minute. Glad to be able to carve out some time. I was like, man, I know it's been a minute. I probably haven't written anything down in my phone lately to be able to reserve some time. I'm like, I'm going to put something down, and damn it, come hell or high water, I'm going to be able to do a live stream. Even if that means setting aside some time from the other jobs that I'm working to where, you know, tomorrow has to be kind of double work on a job. That's okay. That's okay. I will do double duty on jobs tomorrow so that I can have today with y'all. Sometimes we do that, right? With like having our inner peace and stuff, where we're like, I know to have like a mental health day or some inner peace or to do this fun thing, it means that stuff is going to back up in some other quadrant in my life. And I'm just going to accept that and consider that worth it and do it anyway. I know a lot of us have moments like that. This is one of those moments here for me. So, going live, being here with y'all, this is one of those moments. Shaylin Lukatich, yes, life happens. Life happens. Life has been happening too much to me lately. But yeah, life happens. NatCat180, hello, hello. That was entirely not necessary, but it felt like I needed to. So there you go. There was your hello. And yeah, I guess here I am again from the last video from a week ago where I was wearing like a blue a blue top here and a blue top here, and now I've got kind of a purplish burgundy and another purplish burgundy. I don't know what it is with coordinating 90s undershirts and overshirts right now with 90s, low ponytails. I'm not sure what's going on here. But whatever it is, apparently I'm all in on it. Whatever it is, I'm all in. So here we go. Cat 180 said, so happy I caught your live. Missed you. I missed you too. It's been 7 weeks since I've been live. So I'm glad to be able to come back today and do a live and set aside some time to hang out with y'all, because I have missed that. I have wanted that. We are here. Even Penelope is like, you know what? I wasn't sure if this is red or purple, so we're going to do both. So even Penelope here is supporting. So that's, and you know what? Matter of fact, I didn't even mean to do this, but if I clear off the condensation from my little ice black cherry bottle, even it's kind of matching my colors. Literally didn't mean to do that. This was the only one that Julio had in the fridge right now. He tends to put like 2 of these in the fridge a day, where he grabs one and I'll grab one or whatever. And this was the only one that was in the fridge just now, so I grabbed it. I had no idea that it would actually coordinate with what I'm wearing. So y'all, what now? We are here together. What now? I feel a lot of different ways about that question. Part of me is like, let's just catch up. Part of me is like, okay, well, if we catch up, what are we catching up on? Are we catching up on your lives? Are we catching up on my life? Are we catching up on some sort of tarot something? Are we catching up on some sort of spiritual something? Some sort of mental health something? What are we catching up on? What are we doing? And I am aware, looking at the date here, that it is 4/27, so I am aware that May predictions will be coming up soon. I have 1, 2, 3 more days to film that. So I have 3 days to film that. I thought about I can film it here during the live stream, because I think I did that once before, but I remembered that being kind of a lot of work to try to figure out how to do the live stream and the filming that. And so I don't think I want to do that today, because I don't want to accidentally get myself sucked into something that's pretty involved in terms of a reading on here, like that one. Because then I end up not interacting with y'all. Then I end up so zeroed in, tunnel vision, focused on doing a long, extensive type of reading on here, that the element that y'all are here and live with me gets lost. And y'all are just sitting there watching me do a reading, and I'm doing a reading by myself and not realizing that y'all are with me. And then that ends up being sad. So I'm like, I don't want to do that one here today with everyone. I will make sure I just tackle that today, tomorrow, or the next day, so that I get it up to you on time. And God willing, Lord willing, if the creek don't rise, I will get that up to y'all on time. So other things though, I've got other things on my brain. I got a lot of shit on my brain and open to a lot of things here. So let's see. Elizabeth Glenn, hello. Chrissy Hansen said, yeah, life happens all right. Celebrate 20th wedding anniversary 1 week with a new set of rings involved. A week later, I find out he's cheating on you again. Oh my gosh. So congratulations. And also at the same time, what the hell? I'm sorry, Chrissy. That's ping pong in your mind from highs to lows. Ugh. Man, everyone is sorry to hear that. Shaylin is giving her sorries and all this stuff. That's too much, and that's not okay, and we are sorry to hear that. Goodness gracious. Oh, Chrissy. Shy, hello. You said that I nailed everything in April. I don't even remember what all I said in April. Like I've told y'all before, when I'm channeling, when I'm doing a reading and channeling, I'm so in the moment channeling that nothing I'm saying is making it to working memory and stored memory. It's just kind of going in and out. And so I don't really remember what I say. other than then I have to kind of rewatch back, and I hate rewatching myself back and listening to myself. I'm sure y'all are similar, where you hear yourself in a recording or you see yourself on a video and you're like, oh God, watching and hearing yourself back. I'm like that. So, but I do remember it being chaotic and big and a lot of moving parts and a lot of shit happening. I do remember having that feeling as I was reading, and so April did feel like that to me. So, okay. Guess I nailed everything in April. Thank you for informing me, Shy. Thank you. Oh, goodness. Jennifer Sean, hello. You're not behind. It's okay, Rebecca. I haven't said anything of import. I don't think. Oh, man. Aw, thanks, NatCat180. You said Shy. Definitely, you crushed it with the monthly predictions, B. Well, thank you. We'll see what May brings then. We will see what May brings. So, over the next, handful of days, I'll be recording a May 2023 predictions reading and see where that goes. We'll see. Man, what a mess. Not everything's bad, but it's been messy here lately. I imagine y'all think so too. Oh, goodness. So, thoughts about tonight for how we will use this little live stream and chat. For if y'all are thinking about just catching up with each other, finding some kind of a mini reading we can do on something, talking about some kind of a spiritual or even mental health related topic, I figured today that I would come in with ideas in the back of my head in case nobody else had ideas, but that I would come in without an actual set in stone plan so that I could kind of read the room and see where y'all want to take it, because I always think of this channel as, somewhat of a democracy here and like to kind of get y'all say on things. So I'll see what y'all say, and of course it takes time for me to see what y'all type because of the lag time in the chat for whatever reason. But I do see NatCat180 said calmer month of May, hopefully. With the prayer hands, yeah, I'm hoping too, right? Hopefully, we shall see. So we're gonna find out, apparently. Oh man, I'm already laughing. I know I cracked my fingers a lot in this. Oh man, what a question, Chrissy. Chrissy wrote, what the fuck is complex PTSD? Well, depending on where you look and who you ask and all the things, you're going to get a lot of different information. And so without accidentally going into a long kind of rabbit hole and going on forever and ever and trying to, make everything complicated, I'll try to do a quick little simplified thing. In the most simple, reductionistic terms, complex PTSD is just having PTSD because of something that was more ongoing. So rather than someone saying, I have PTSD because I was in a really, really bad car accident and it scared me so bad that now I have nightmares and flashbacks and all the things that come up from my car accident that one time. That's, someone that has PTSD might have a situation like that. Whereas someone who has complex PTSD might say, oh, I was ritually abused as a child on an ongoing basis. It was not one event. It was like a whole damn thing. It was like a lineup of something over time kind of thing. And so that's a quick and dirty. Again, it's very reductionistic. There's a lot that goes into that, people make whole entire semester courses on this stuff. So for me to kind of take a little sound bite, that's a sound bite. That's about as brief as a bee can be. So I hope that was helpful there. Lauren McMurray, hello. Hello. Shaylin says, flying next week to Virginia for daughter's wedding. Haven't flown in over 20 years. Anxiety getting high. Yeah, I imagine that you can have anxiety if you haven't flown in 20 years. That feels like, it's a big change. It's a big difference. Flying can sound or seem scary because it's, for some people, it's not something we do all the time, and like, holy crap. And, maybe getting anxious also because a lot of times moms get anxious when their children's weddings are coming up because it's just a heightened time, excitement, pressure, nervousness, all the good and the bad wrapped up into one that just has you kind of activated all together. And so I imagine that might be kind of thrown in the mix here, kind of exacerbating that anxiety a bit. So big hugs to you. Congratulations to your daughter getting married, and I hope that your trip is a fun one, a celebratory one, and that you're able to get through the flights there and back, and that they're maybe not as bad as whatever your mean mind might be telling you it is. So, all the best for that. Randy H, hello. I am perking good today. Can't say that about every day, but I'm speaking for today. Today it's perking good, okay? Perking good today. I'll take it. I will take it. Lily, hello. I'm doing all right and hope you are too. Yes. Fear flights getting delayed and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think we've all had some kind of horror stories with flights. A lot of us had really great stories with flights too. And so just hoping that yours is as smooth and as easy as it can be, and hoping that even if, worst case scenario, something didn't happen smoothly and something did come up, that there would be some kind of a you know what? This might feel shitty right now, but I bet you in 5 years, we'll be eating Thanksgiving together, all of us, and we'll be talking about, remember, Mom, when your flight was like this, and you had to do this and this at my wedding, and blah, blah, and you'll be like, oh my God, and that you'll just start kind of laughing about it. You ever notice how sometimes, if things happen that we in the moment consider a shitty circumstance, a lot of times later on that ends up being a funny story that we share within our family and inside jokes, and we crack up about it, and it makes basically a lifetime full of laughter after the fact. And so sometimes when I get kind of up in my feels about, well, what if this happens or that happens or this happens or that happens, sometimes I tell myself, okay, what if that does happen? If it does, you can only control what you can control. And then afterwards, it'll be an entire lifetime of laughs. So, let one moment of suck be a lifetime of laughs. See how it goes. And I'll tell myself that. That may not work for you. That may not be an effective way to get through it for everyone. But that's just one thing that I do whenever I get kind of anxious about stuff that is mostly outside of my control. So just putting that out there for what it's worth. Let's see. Chrissy says, okay, and can you have both PTSD from a single event and complex PTSD from, say, being cheated on repeat style for 20 plus years? Yes, and yes. That's about as fast as a bee can go. Yes. Although, I will say, sometimes we get fixated on labels when labels are less important than what is happening in our minds and our bodies. Sometimes just knowing what's happening in our minds and bodies Just knowing the symptoms and what's happening is more important than an actual label. Labels can be helpful in so much as knowing certain labels can help people know better how to provide treatment for that particular label, so to speak. But if we've noticed in physical health and mental health, which physical health is mental health and mental health is physical health, but don't get me started. But in that, a lot of times symptoms overlap on things, such as, oh, my stomach hurts. Okay, well, maybe that's anxiety. Maybe that's IBS. Maybe that's Crohn's disease. Maybe that's indigestion. Maybe that's gas. Maybe that's, like that symptom overlaps with a lot of things. Things that we might experience if we've gone through traumas. I feel kind of sad and mopey and unmotivated. Okay, could be major depression, could be PTSD, could be a traumatic brain injury, could be, the list goes on. And so sometimes for me personally and some other mental health professionals out there, sometimes labels aren't quite as important as what we try to make them out to be, because symptoms can overlap, and at the end of the day you're treating the symptoms and trying to find the root causes for those symptoms to treat that, and that can be more important. In fact, a lot of times labels are good for two things. One, expediting how do we treat something. We usually treat something with this label like this. We usually treat something with this label like that. So expediting treatment. And two, unfortunately, most of the time, insurance decides whether or not it'll pay for something based on a label, and it won't pay for anything unless you give it a label. So, people sitting up there in insurance that are a lot of times not actually in this work, making a lot of the decisions for the people who do the work. So, I would say, Chrissy, those things answer your question about the difference between PTSD and CPTSD and whether or not you can have both at the same time and all of that, but I wouldn't get bogged down in the meaning that you might be trying to apply to that and the labels that you might be trying to apply to that, because it might actually get in your way rather than helping you. So it's kind of like when I talk about learning tarot and I say, learn it all and then shake it all off. It's kind of like that. It's like, yeah, learn all the meanings of the cards to read tarot effectively and then forget everything you just learned and pull your intuition in. It's kind of like that. Not exactly, but kind of like that. Sweet Harmony, hello. Lovely to see you here. Okay. You're in therapy, and over time she's used both and possibly used both in a way that might seem kind of interchangeable or at least confusing. And Google made it kind of confusing, and so you asked. And yeah, you're going to consult a lot of different places, get a lot of different kind of tweaks on it, on how people might answer that, so I can understand the confusion and stuff. And that's one reason again why I'm like, maybe the name of it isn't quite as important as society makes us to think about it. It's useful, it has value, it sure does, but maybe it isn't helpful to make that part the primary focus, and the rest might be. So hopefully that makes sense. I went through a whole little spiel there, and hopefully whatever I said to folks listening, hopefully that made sense. And again, this is just me talking. It's just me talking. Take my opinions or throw them in the trash. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do with it. Grace Moon, hello. Just call me Hen, hello. Oh, you said, how is Alma? Can you tell her that we miss her, please? Yes, I tell her all the time that y'all miss her. She's doing all right, I reckon. It's interesting. With us being twins, genetically identical twins, we are so alike and so different all at the same time. It's so strange because we are very much alike in all of the big ways, and we're so different in a lot of the details. And yeah, with me, whenever I go through really challenging stuff, traumatic stuff, if you want to call that, whatever, I tend to kind of flip into overdrive and extroversion, where I need people all the time and I need to be doing things all the time, and I want to be, focusing on too much at once. And the problem with that is then I'm not relaxing fully, I'm not healing properly, integrating well, resting well, because I'm always hypervigilant on activation and overdrive, and then I get burned out bad. And so that's a problem with my extreme. Her extreme is that she goes into more of the introverted isolation thing, where it's like, fuck all social media, fuck all people and friends except for my few core people, like her husband, her child, and her cats, and Rosie the puppy. And she'll just be doing her own thing in her own little cocoon of those core people that she wants to be around, core people and animals that she wants to be around, and she pulls in, and she's not really wanting to, do the YouTube-y things and overdo stuff. She'll be like, okay, I want to have one job that I can, do what I got to do to get by in the one job, possibly bare minimum kind of thing, and just be, again, with my husband, children, and cats and Rosie kind of thing, and incubate and pull away. And then so she doesn't get burned out as much as like I would from my approach, but then her approach is much more, again, withdrawn and isolated in my perspective or opinion. So she might start feeling more feelings of like loneliness or things like that, and so she's on that end. So we both like have totally different reactions to toxic stress, neither of which is at the most healthy, because let's face it, with all of us, when we go through traumatic stuff, we try to handle it as healthily as we can. But sometimes we find that maybe it's really hard and we're doing something that isn't super healthy, like staying up too late at night watching silly YouTube shorts or TikTok videos or something. Or we find, oh, wow, I've ate too much ice cream because I must be coping with emotional eating, or, stuff like that. We find that we don't always do the perfect epitome of health when we go through something traumatic, because we cope the best ways we can with what we have at the time. And she and I do different things. And so her thing right now is to disappear, and my thing right now is to do way too fucking much. Which ends up making me seem like I'm disappearing from y'all, but I'm not. I'm just juggling 3 jobs, which is way too much. But I do tell her hi and stuff, and she does like, smile and nod and stuff, like she appreciates that people, think of her and care and stuff. She just kind of can't bring herself to do anything with that. And a hard part for me is having to respect that and just let it be. Like I saw her more and hung out with her more back when I lived 2 states away in Alabama, and it was a 5-hour drive to get to her. Now it's a 10-minute drive to get to her, and I see her less. I see her less now, 10 minutes away, than I did when she was 5 hours and 2 states away. And so I have to come to my own terms. Like, y'all are coming to terms like, oh, we miss her. I miss her too. And we're genetic copies, and I miss her too, So it's interesting how things go. It's interesting. But thank you for that. Let's see I was here. KGB. You said, yeah, I love when therapists throw a lot of letters at you in no context. I'm not trying to hate on therapists, because I am one. So I'm not trying to hate on them, or else, high pot meet kettle, right? But I hate that too. And that to me is the sign that the therapist needs a little bit more skill. And in any job, anywhere, we can always improve. If you're a nurse, I'm sure there are things you could do to improve. If you're a house painter, I'm pretty sure there are things you could do to improve. You know, if you work on an airline, I'm sure there are things you could do to improve. And so us as counselors, I'm sure there are things that we can all do individually, whatever, to improve. So I'm not knocking on, you know, anyone specifically, but if your therapist ever is throwing things around, and you're confused and feel like you have to look that up after a session, that is something they could improve on. Because I would like to think that's not the case. Even in my one-on-one sessions, and anybody that's had a private reading with me, if I've ever in my private reading kind of started explaining some things psychologically, even if I wasn't doing therapy on you or with you, I just started kind of talking about some things in the psychology world before I would drift back into tarot, I'm hoping that you would feel like I explained it in a way that made sense, such that you wouldn't feel like, oh, I have to Google things because now I don't know what the fuck B talked about. And if that's not the case, if you're like, oh, actually, yeah, I had no clue when I walked away, B said this and I did have to look it up, then you can tell me that, because I'll be like, oh, that's a cue that I went too far too fast and I need to learn to improve my skills. And I would take that as constructive criticism if that was the case. Froggy, hello. Google OpenAI test feature. What a name. Google OpenAI test feature. Love the name, hello. And that's what you wrote. You wrote hello. So hello to you. And welcome. Thanks for being here. Shaylin says, I get that. I hibernate. Yeah, there are people like that, you know? We all handle things differently, and it happens, you know? It happens. I have my moments. Where it's like, don't look at me, don't touch me, don't talk to me, don't breathe around me. Like, I have my moments like that. Absolutely. Silver Wolf, hello. Hey, everyone, hugs to all, and hugs to you, B. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, people are giving hugs back. That's sweet. Aaron Cooper, hello. Awesome. Let's see. Just Call Me Hen says, it's hard both ways. We all need to find an in-between, but that isn't reality. Exactly, you know? Some people, it is reality. There are some people who are like true pros at being able to go through something and like, you know, integrate immediately and do the whole healthy thing. But for a lot of us, it just shakes our system and we just kind of get dysregulated, and it's hard to kind of pull our way back, you know, and we do all the things we can. But there's a difference between intellectually knowing what to do and emotionally saying, hey, you subconscious inside here, do the things we know. You know these things, so do that. And it's like, no habla inglés, you know, and it's like, shut up, stop, you know, and that's what happens. Sometimes it's like, okay, we're speaking two different languages and I'm not sure how to get on the same page. Sometimes that happens. I think that's relatable for a lot of people. So, gotta say it. Yep, NatCat180, I agree. Finding balance is always important, but difficult. Let's see. Yes. Aw, Cindy Mamos, lost my job 1 week ago. Been hiding out in my cave ever since. So sorry to hear that. That's intense. That's hard. Totally understandable why you'd want to be hiding out. I hope that in some ways you're able to take care of yourself, or that maybe you have a bit of a support system that you can lean on a little bit to take care of yourself. Even if your support system is your spirit guides, your angels, archangels, light beings surrounding you now. I lean on my spirit team all the time because sometimes I make it to where I don't have a physical support team, and that's of my own making. Sometimes I self-sabotage sometimes. I'm a human too, even if I know better up here. Again, sometimes here takes over and does it. And so if I feel like I don't have a support system physically, I'll also lean on them, spiritually, and it does make a difference. And so whatever kind of ways, whatever support teams, physically or beyond, whatever you can lean on, whatever types of self-care. And self-care is not just take a bubble bath, whatever you can do to take care of yourself physically, food, water, sleep, exercise, within your community, within, whatever. I hope that you can pull that together for yourself in all the ways that you can kind of creatively think, so that you can get yourself through this time, because I know that's although I'm sure I haven't been through the exact same thing that you've been through, so I can't possibly know what you're going through. I have been in a situation before where we got a call at a job that I worked on before. I had put several years into that job, and we got a call saying, oh, the research study is actually finding things out that could be bad for study participants, so we have to call off the study. And we're like, well, what does that mean? And they were like, that means we're not doing any more research study. And we're like, yeah, so what does that mean for the funding for like personnel? And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, that's cut off effective immediately. So we're like, okay, so if we stayed here one more hour, we wouldn't even get paid for that hour. And they're like, unfortunately. So we were just done. Like, it was done, and that can be traumatic. That's a lot. So I know, again, I can't completely understand what you've gone through, but I empathize with being like, what the fuck? And kind of just, not being able to know what to do or where to go with that, and wanting to hide away. So, big hugs to you on that, Cindy. Big hugs to you on that. Joycey, hello. Because of the AI person in the chat's name, people are like, AI is weirding me out. AI is terrifying. I did do an AI reading before on my channel. I don't know how long ago it's been, but I did do a reading on AI, and whether it could become sentient, and whether or not it was a threat and stuff like that. So I do have an AI reading, a tarot reading on AI on my channel. I might write that down just so later I can make a YouTube post with the link to the AI video, because of it being, talked about more now, being a thing now, that people are kind of freaking out about. It's been on discussion lately. I'll go back and find that video, and I'll put the link on the community tab, so that anybody interested in watching that previous video I did on AI could take a look at that link and see what that reading had to say. So I will do that. And of course, if I need to end up doing an update reading at some point, then we can do update readings and things like that. But just letting people know, if somebody doesn't want to wait around for an update reading and they just kind of like, well, tell me what it says now, we have that option. So just putting that out there for that. Alrighty, let's see. Aw, KGB, you said, you are great at communicating. I'd love for you to be my therapist. That is so sweet. Like, I almost can't even handle that. That's sweet. Meanwhile, I'm so good at communicating, you say. Meanwhile, I'm the person that, when, Riquito and I are watching TV downstairs, and I'm starting to get overwhelmed because, like, the TV's still going, and he's trying to tell me something at the same time that the TV's still going, and I get overstimulated, and I'm like, just hold on, make it do a shut quiet first. Make it do a shut quiet first. And he's like, pause it? I'm like, yeah. Thanks. So pausing it was make it do a shut quiet first. So that's the pinnacle of my skills around communication. In fairness to me, I was overwhelmed, but still, I am sometimes a good communicator. I am sometimes shitastic. Oh, goodness. Let's see. Chrissy says, so should I tell my therapist I need her to explain things more instead of just telling me her view of what the letters fit me? Yes, absolutely. Okay, think about this. Your therapist works for you. That's not to make you sound entitled, like you can walk all over her and abuse her or whatever and stuff like that. You know, we're not gonna, become a Karen over that. But she works for you. So think about if you were an employer and you had, employees working under you and they were doing things that you didn't understand. You'd be like, hold on. Let's have a meeting together, okay? Because I don't understand what you're doing. And, since I'm employing you, I want to understand. Let's get on the same page about this. These are some of the questions I have. Can you help me with this? And you'd get on the same page, Same with if you were to go to a doctor's office for a, regular checkup and the doctor was like, yeah, it looks like you have, XYZ, blah, 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 blah. So we'll see you in 2 months. And he was to go walk out. You'd be like, hold on. You'd grab him or the nurse and be like, hey, hold on. What does that mean? And should I be worried? Is there something I need to know about that? What does it mean definition wise? And then what does it mean for me in terms of what I should do with that information? I just need to know how to process and absorb this. You'd be able to ask. None of that is rude or weird or bad or whatever. And so please feel free to do that in therapy. The therapist might think that because you're not asking questions, oh, you just already know, because sometimes therapists will have clients that do know, sometimes I'll have clients that are like, you don't have to explain all that stuff. Don't speak, don't quote unquote dumb things down for me. I've been in therapy for so long. I know all these acronyms and stuff like that. And I'd be like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to dumb things down. I'm just trying to make sure that you adequately understand based on what I hopefully adequately explain. But if you don't need that, then I'm happy to pull back on that. Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah. She probably just is making an assumption that or she might just be liking the sound of her own voice when she talks, that happens too sometimes. But yeah, absolutely. You should never have to Google something outside of therapy that happened in therapy. Yeah. Be like, lady, explain yourself. Goodness gracious. Just Call Me Hen says, yeah, I'm suffering myself at the moment. Have been off work since November. Can't people at the moment, but I can do online stuff with no issues. Yeah, sometimes we do what we can. Sometimes online stuff doesn't feel like it takes quite as much effort or attention or work or exertion, and so it's doable. Whereas peopling has an entirely new interface on it. It's all the stuff we do online, but also the people's energy in person and the drive time to get there and the thinking, how do I leave when I'm ready to leave, and stuff like that can get in the way, and it can be a lot. And, we hopefully can work ourselves up to that point. But if we're not ready to be there right now, that's okay too. We honor where we are, and we hopefully have some sort of plans or aims for where we'd like to be and how we can get there, but not beating ourselves up for where we are. So it's good that you know that about yourself. That's good insight. Having insight is the first step, because what in the hell can we do if we don't have the insight first? So for a lot of us, that's what we focus on. Like, okay, let me get some insight about this. Let me figure out where I'm at. If I can know where I'm at, I can know where to go from here. I just want to know where I am. So it's okay to orient. It's okay to orient yourself. Wow, Silver Wolf member for 31 months. Time flies, huh? We love you, B. Love you all. Well, we love you back, Silver Wolf. And holy shit, 31 months. That's incredible. First of all, thank you for being around here and a part of the Perk Squad for 31 months because holy shit. Second of all, that's just a lot. So congratulations. But thank you. Wow. Yeah, my brain kind of was like, I kind of couldn't even for a minute there. Couldn't even for a minute there. Let's see. Aw, that was sweet of you, Silver Wolf. Talking to Just Call Hen about transcription work. People connecting people to companies who are hiring. Joycey said, I just got used to E-I-E-I-O. Right? Damn. Oh, just call me Hen. I am a typo queen, Silver Wolf. A lot of us are. No shame in that. A lot of us are. Aw, Stacy and Fishers, thank you for the super chat. That was so kind of you. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Aw, you're so sweet. I appreciate it. And hello for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chat. Glad you could join and hanging out with us today. Always lovely to have you here. Let's see. Susie Cusey. Oh, almost said Susie Cusey. I did say Susie Cusey. Susie Cusey. I renamed you. Susie Q 926. Hello. You're probably just laughing at me if for doing that. I could take that. That's good. Oh, man. Thank you for being here. Yeah, just coming in and seeing how I was talking about shut quiet. You're like, haha, shut quiet. LOL. Yeah, it happens. That's the best I got sometimes, you know? So if any of y'all are like, oh, B, you're a good communicator, or we perceive you as being smart, please know that things like that happen more than average. More than half the time. So for anyone that thinks I've got my shit together, you are mistaken. Yeah. Although I don't think anybody is under the misunderstanding that I do have my shit together. I think most of y'all are aware of how human and quote unquote not normal I am, and how I don't have my shit together. I think most of you are aware of that, and that you're okay with that to a degree, and that you're forgiving, and so that's why you hang around, because you're compassionate and forgiving, and I thank you for that. Rebecca Rankin says, you've called me out on a couple of my coping mechanisms. I am like Alma. I retreat into my cave underneath the boulder when I am soul wounded. It happens. You know? And just knowing what we do, knowing what we feel like we need, and knowing how long to do those things versus how long to feel like, hey, do we want to stay like this, or do we want to make some changes and go to a different place with this, and are we ready to try to start that, you know? Because sometimes going into our little cave and stuff while we're soul wounded feels better, and it's a good thing to do, and sometimes it starts to rob us of living again, and so we're done with it, but we don't know how to get out of it. And so it can be, you know, it can be a good thing and a not so good thing depending at when and how long and all of that. So yeah, just stay aware of where you are and use that to help you find out where you want to be if that's a different place from where you are. So yes. Susie Q926, the land of my people, LOL. You always crack me up. You're so witty. Oh, man. Silver Wolf says, my typing is horrible. I have to hunt and peck, and I was able to do it. The more I type, the better I get. Yeah, I think we all start out hunt and peck. I type like a mad woman now, although plenty of typos, but still type like some people are like, damn, you're typing on fire. Like, how fast are you typing? And I'm like, oh, I got typos all over the place. The computer is changing some of it, thank God, you know. But yeah, I started with hunting and pecking. I really do think almost all of us, if not all of us, kind of start with hunt and peck. Yeah. That's why there's literally a phrase called hunt and peck. It's so fucking common. There's a phrase for it. Yes. Yeah, see, KGB, sheesh, I can't listen to two things at once either. It drives me mad. Absolutely. Same. I've done therapy around that before in the past. Had I stuck to it and done it more, then I probably would be better at it. But it ended up getting bumped down my priority list in terms of the things that I felt like I had time for. So then I stopped doing that, unfortunately. And I need to pick that back up. This is a good reminder today. This is a good reminder. Let's see. Okay. Oh, y'all are very nice, helping each other out, supporting each other. Love that. Even Aaron Cooper said the same thing. Always enjoy the atmosphere in here with you, B. Yes, the atmosphere is great. Y'all are so sweet. Y'all are funny. Y'all are smart. It's just a good time. It's a good time. Susie Q. I am laughing. It's all good. I knew you'd be laughing at me. I knew you'd be laughing. I knew it. Oh, man. Let's see. Yeah, I lose words too, Aaron. It's annoying as piss. I tell you what. Let's see. So Rebecca was saying, yes, very. I am and have been recovering from a karmic cycle involving the narcissist empath dichotomy. Been firmly planted off the radar emotionally, spiritually, and socially for a bit. Preparing to venture forth a little. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we all get into our little ruts like that where we're like, I gotta lay low for a minute and then I'll spring out later and stuff. It happens. We incubate. It happens. Man. It's very sweet there. Just call me Hen about wishing you all the luck and sending you strength, Rebecca. Very sweet. Very sweet. Man, y'all are all being kind. Here we are. We've been in here. Can you imagine? We've been in here almost an hour. 52 minutes we've been in here, almost an hour, which doesn't feel like it to me. I'm caught up, which is crazy. Never happens. And y'all are being so supportive and wonderful and kind and nice to each other, and that's lovely. I'm here for it. Rico got home a little while ago, but I was answering one of your questions that felt kind of like a sensitive question, so I didn't want to just stop and pause in the middle of the question and be like, Rico, come in here, say hello, because I felt like that would be rude and unfocused, so I didn't want to do that. Now I hear him in the shower, so obviously I can't call him in here now. He won't hear me all the way from in there, but he did get home. I will try to manage my time on here because I know that I didn't want to go too long today because I have some more stuff I needed to take care of. Like I said at the beginning, I'm taking a break right now because I was putting off some job stuff, being like, I've been doing job stuff for so much. I haven't done a live stream in 7 weeks, almost 2 months. And I've been, doing job stuff so much. I want to just have a little pocket of time to be with y'all and do that for a second. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go live. And just decided to go live. So I know that I can't stay live for too long, but I did want to be able to touch base with y'all today. Let's see. Rebecca says, one of my lessons is to be grateful and accepting in the moment with whatever is going on at the moment instead of always striving forward even when I shouldn't. I'm hard-headed. If that's hard-headed, then 99.99999 repeated people in the world are also hard-headed. We very often live in the future, or we often live in the past. And that's where a lot of our pain comes from, living in the future or in the past. but living in the moment, literally only with what's happening right now. A lot of times it's very freeing, very calming, but also super hard to do. Super hard to do. It's something that we have to practice at and master. I've been doing this work, both the mental health work and the spiritual work, for over a decade. And still I struggle with that. Buddhist monks make their entire lives be about practicing that. It's not something that's super easy. It's just super worth it if you can make the time to try a little bit every day. So, yeah, we hear you. We hear you. Lauren McMurray, you said, this is what I didn't know I needed today. Y'all are amazing. Aw, well, you're amazing as well. You're here among like kind. And so, thank you for being here. Just Call Me Hen says, positivity creates positivity. Law of attraction, like attracts like. It kind of works that way. NatCat180 says, percolators and Perk Squad, dope communities. Love y'all. Agreed. And love y'all too. Man. Civil Wolf, you'll have to keep us informed if using the new Bounce Pet hair sheets work. Because we know I got some pets. And we know that they shed. And so if you find a hidden gem here, share it by all means. So we will stay tuned for the next time when you're able to catch us up on that. Thanks for joining, KGB. I know you gotta go, but thanks for having been here today. Aw, everybody's like, bye, KGB. That's very sweet. Just Call Me Hen and Joycey and Silver Wolf. Yeah. Oh, man. Let's see. I guess based on the things we've been talking about, any other questions that you think I might be able to be helpful with, or things that you feel like it might feel better to share to the group or anything like that, while we're here a little bit longer, just figured I'd ask. And remember to keep taking sips of your water. Technically, ice is with vitamins and antioxidants. Sparkling ice, flavored sparkling water. So technically this is water. It's just not like perfectly natural water. But I'm hydrating. Hopefully you're hydrating as well. So yes, hydrate also. Okay. Silver Wolf is job searching. Yeah. A lot of people understand that. A lot of people job surfing. That's why I've got 3 jobs, because you were saying right now, the pennies aren't cutting anymore. Everything is going up but my pay. Hence why I have 3 jobs right now. Do I have time for 3 jobs? No. Do I have sanity for 3 jobs? No. Do I have the energy for 3 jobs? No. Am I functioning well right now? No. But is it cutting it and paying the bills and helping with any debt from like when Bodhi had his MRI and emergency vet stuff, and it was, almost $5,000 of a bill for Bodhi's healthcare and stuff like that? Is it helping me pay things like that off? Yes. And so I'm considering it worth it for a time limited stance. And my hope is that once I can get off those, major medical things and stuff like that, get all that paid off, that maybe I won't have to have 3 jobs anymore and I can just go with 2 or something. That would be nice. So totally understand you and feel you on that, Silver Wolf. I think a lot of us do. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Aaron says, oh my God, I just got the pun in KGB's name. Brilliant. I know. It took me a second too. I was like, oh, yeah, just pronounce it like the literal, letters of it. Took me a minute too. Wendy Olsen, hello. I'm perking good and hope you are too. Today's been a good day. I can't complain. Well, the first half of the day was kind of whack and depressing for no good reason. But then the second half of the day was great. So, I'm good now, In terms of how it netted, it was a net positive. So we'll take that, right? Christina Bell, hello. Aw, you said love you. I've been watching you since you and your sister were on Facebook. Aw, you've been around for a long time. You're a hell of an OG then. Damn. You've been around for a long time. Happy to have you here tonight, Christina. No. Yeah, Rebecca, human tradition, LOL, trying to break cycles right now. Totally agree. Yep. It's tough sometimes. Silverwolf's like, I have a white cat. She sheds like crazy. How she's not bald is beyond me. So I feel about my puppies. I'm like, how the hell are you not bald? Especially Izzy, with all that she sheds, how the hell is her fur looking thick still? I'm like, where does it come from? The hell? It's crazy. I don't know. Ah, man. No, and then NatCat180 says, I weirdly miss pet hair on my clothes since we lost our fur baby. An annoyance I miss. It is weird, one of those things of grief that we start missing something that we used to find annoying, but now we miss it. And it's just a strange aspect of grief. And so, big hugs to you in that. That's tough. I hate those ones. Oh, goodness. So we've got some cranberry mango juice from Chrissy and pink grapefruit from Susie Q. Oh, the pink grapefruit, one of these ice ones? Ha! That'd be hilarious. If we're drinking basically the same thing almost. Lauren McMurray says, any advice for a caseworker / advocate that isn't trained professionally? Okay, so you rehouse homeless veterans, and it's so rewarding and also draining. You love what you do, but you see a lot, and today was hard. Okay, so, of course, I've got a lot of thoughts on that. I don't know how much I would have time to share, so again, I'm going to try to kind of truncate it and do it a little bit briefly, just to make sure I don't go on and on forever. But a couple things. It would be helpful if you learned some things that professionals would learn. So even if you say, you're not trained professionally, but you're doing this work, there are certain components of training that professionals might get that could help with the things that you're experiencing. And so being able to find those trainings, like enroll in those trainings, or find maybe some YouTube videos that could suffice on that, or some things to read that could be helpful on that. But essentially, what we don't want to have happen is for you to accidentally experience secondhand trauma, because that happens. Like you said, I see a lot. And for me, that keys in, we've seen some things that have stuck with us. We've seen some things that we can't unsee right now. And it's hard to shake that off and let that go. And then that can be the idea of that, the thought of that, the picture of that can be triggering. And you certainly won't want to end up with something that you can't let go of, because if you're going to continue on, you're going to continue to accumulate stuff without being able to let go the earlier stuff, right? And so we don't want that to happen. It does happen to almost everybody that's in this type of work, okay? So first of all, you're not being stupid or bad or wrong or whatever. You're being human. This happens to humans, okay? So let's avoid any shame, blame, guilt, for starters. So secondly, what I would look into is, I would look into various types of self-care. I hate the words self-care, because these days self-care has gone synonymous with take a bubble bath, go get your nails done, trivial things like that feel like luxuries. But true self-care is not a luxury. True self-care is self-respect, and it is a responsibility. So if you're working in this field, self-care is not selfish, and it's not a luxury. It's self-respect, and it's a responsibility that you have for yourself and for your clients. So first, we change the way we think about self-care, and then we take a look at what self-care means. And self-care comes from, if you're doing it well, then it will work. If you're only focusing on one version of self-care or something like that, then it won't be enough. You got to function on all the different aspects of self-care. So you need to have at least one thing that is considered self-care that you regularly do that's physical self-care, such as, eating healthy, drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, moving your body enough in the day. Things like emotional self-care. And so things like getting therapy, meditating, whatever, crying when you need to cry and get stuff out. Community self-care, like, do I feel like I belong somewhere? Am I connected to anyone or anything greater than myself, bigger than myself? And if not, taking a look at that. Financial self-care. Am I feeling like, even if money might be tight or might be hard, am I feeling like I am taking care of myself financially? So I'm not overspending. I am making sure that I have a balanced financial plan of sorts, or someone who can advise me if I don't, or whatever. There's financial self-care. There's all different kinds of aspects of self-care. Like, those are just 4 different aspects of self-care, 4 different dimensions of self-care. But there's more beyond just that. There's more. Work self-care. Am I in my work making sure that I have boundaries with my job, with my boss, with my duties? Am I at a place where I feel that I can be assertive, not aggressive, but assertive enough to make sure my boundaries are respected and safe, as long as they're reasonable, and things like that, so that you can be accommodated at work? There's so many different dimensions of self-care, and you need to be doing at least one in all dimensions regularly for you to feel like your self-care plan is working. So creating a self-care plan from all these different dimensions. If you do not already have one, make one. So Lauren, I mean, like, writing it down, literally journaling it. Journaling, here's certain options. Here's the ones I gravitate towards. Here's the ones I'm going to try. Don't overwhelm yourself with too many that you don't have time for or whatever. Be realistic, and be realistic to the ones that feel good to you. Don't say, I'm going to read a book for intellectual self-care if you hate reading books. Then how is that self-care? You know what I mean? But intellectual self-care is another dimension of self-care. So here we're already at 6. There's so many. But just looking up the dimensions, all the different dimensions of self-care, seeing all the different examples that people might list for those, and choosing some that you feel like fit you and your life and what you can kind of seamlessly integrate, even in small ways, and having a plan there, and knowing that your plan is not set in stone. It's adjustable. It can move and adjust with you. It's a living document, just like you are, and it's a living person. And ensuring that you stick to that, adhere to that, because it is your responsibility to do that for yourself and your clients, and it shows that you have self-respect. You want to respect yourself because you are with yourself 24/7, 365 for your entire life. So if you're going to respect anybody or anything, you want to respect yourself. Easier said than done. I disrespect myself all the time. I can admit that. A lot of us do. But that's one of the things that I feel like is important. So when people just say self-care, I get like, until they define kind of what that means and what that looks like and what all it entails. So that's one thing, is I would take a look at that for you. Another thing, and I'm trying not to overwhelm you, so again, I'm not going to go on for forever and ever because there's so many different things I could say to you, and I don't want to overwhelm you, or overwhelm the chat or the stream, but also in terms of when you say I see a lot. Again, how that in my mind registered, like, are we getting into a secondhand trauma kind of thing? Are we, feeling kind of like, I'm holding on to this and not being able to let go. And it wasn't even my thing to experience. It was just something that I saw. And, now vicariously, I'm holding on to it too. You may need to look into, what people can do around secondhand trauma, how to avoid it, and then once it happens, how to process it and move through it and let it go once it happens. Avoiding it will be things like setting up boundaries that ensures that you can do your work but not get sucked in a way that can activate you in that sense. So there will be certain things like boundaries around prevention when you look it up, but then there will be certain things around letting things go. And sometimes that's going to be talking it out, processing it with someone you trust, or with a therapist even, someone who works with trauma, knows a lot about trauma and how to help people release that. It would be a good idea to get on those kinds of things sooner than later so that you don't end up with an accumulation of it. And again, these topics we can talk about all day long. I could do full classes on these things probably, but I won't, don't worry, y'all's ears won't be bleeding. But those are the main core things that I would take a look at, so that you can at least have what you need to ensure that you can sustainably continue this type of work. Because this stuff is hard. Working with people and with people who are experiencing problems is hard. And so protecting yourself so that you don't take on too much of it and being able to get rid of it later are musts. And so I'm like, and so, I've said, and so 18,000 times, and I hate hearing that I did that. Almost did it again. Take a look at those things. There's your starting point. I hope that was helpful. Ooh, it's 111 on the thing. We've been live for 1 hour and 11 minutes and 55 seconds. 1155. Oh, I meant 11155. 1 hour, 11 minutes. So 11155. That is incredible. It's good to look up and see those numbers right as I finish that. So that's a good sign. I like that. I like that in angel numbers. In fact, fuck it. Let's read the angel numbers from my phone just so y'all have that. In case people were curious, why not? Let's do that. So 111 says, an energetic gateway has opened for you, rapidly manifesting your thoughts into reality. Choose your thoughts wisely at this time, ensuring that they match your desires. Don't put any energy into thinking about fears at all unless you manifest them. So, there's that. And the 5-5 says, buckle your seatbelt as you're going through or about to go through a major positive life change. It's time to let go. Am I winking? Time to let go of that which is no longer working and allow it to be healed or replaced with something better. So, there's some psycho-spiritual stuff for you. The psycho part from everything I just said. The spiritual stuff from everything the angels just gave you. So, there we go. And we can all use this. I'm talking to Lauren with this stuff, but we can all use this. If we are listening here, if we are sitting here listening, experiencing this together, then this is for us as well. So I love it whenever we're kind of able to do a 2 for, 3 for, 4 for, 5 for, be able to help more than one person at a time. That's beautiful. So that's what I got on that one. That's a great question. Let's see here. Okay. I lost the chat. Of course I lost the chat. Of course I did. Let me find it. Rebecca says, I don't have a pet because my lease won't allow it, but I got to love on a young puppy recently and I'm thinking about breaking the rules. LOL. Oh, I would be so tempted. I would be so tempted. Oh, man. Grace Moon. You said summer from where I am. I hope everyone's warm and toasty. Yes, it's summer here too. Well, allegedly summer. It's not quite summer in South Carolina to me, but I guess people from other locations would be like, yeah, it is. Good God, it's hot right here. Nicole Couture, hello. Glad to have you here. Emily Voldock, hello. Happy to have you. Yay. Oh, goodness. Let's see. Susie Q926 says, I feel like I'm channeling when I sing sometimes. Is that possible? Yes. Absolutely, that is possible. When you are singing, you are in the present moment. You are in your flow. You're not thinking about the future. You're not thinking about the past, because all you're thinking about is singing right here, right now. What does it feel like going through my vocal cords? What does it sound like as I'm trying to hit the right notes? What emotions am I experiencing as I'm interpreting the lyrics that I'm singing? You're just so in that moment, in that flow, and that is exactly the moment and flow and way that channeling happens. So absolutely, if you feel like there's some sort of channeling as you're singing, totally possible, Susie. Yes, good question. Alrighty, let's see. Everybody thinking about the puppy process and puppy picking and possibly adopting and all of this stuff. Yes, it's hard to think about adopting puppies when we know it's breaking the rules. And it's hard to think about adopting puppies after a puppy loss. Those are things that weigh on my mind. I want in the future a Pomeranian, but I already have 4 babies and I don't want to take on a 5th baby. And so I told myself, like, oh no, that means I would have a Pomeranian when I lose one of my other babies. And I'm like, I don't want to have to lose a baby to get a Pomeranian, because the thought of losing one of my babies, like, oh no, and it can't be replaced. You know, when I lose a baby, it's not like the Pomeranian will be replacing it, because they could never get replaced. And I mind fuck myself over it. I'm like, calm down. You're not even there yet. Cross that bridge later. Right now, you have your 4 babies. You love on your 4 babies. That's all you need to know right now. That's all you need to do right now. The rest comes later. You'll think about it later. And so I have to tell myself that all the time. So, yep. I feel ya on that. Let's see. Hi, Miss M. Hello. Yes, Miss M and the Huskies. Oh, Grace, I'm glad. Grace says, this is so helpful, B. Thank you so much. Well, I'm so glad that it's helping people. I'm glad. That makes me happy that I can be of use and of value to people. In any capacity, in any time, in any way. Love all the conversation about huskies and malamutes and big dogs with lots of fur and lots of personalities. Oh, man. Getting a massage is great. It's a great idea, Susie Q. Yes, absolutely. Getting that muscle release whenever we're able. And for people that are like, I can't afford a massage, y'all, you know what I do? Seriously, I afford a tennis ball. And I put the tennis ball on the wall between my back and the wall, and I lean back on the tennis ball and I go up and down the wall with the tennis ball until it like hits one of those spots, you know, those hurt so good spots where you're like, ow, but oh, it's good, but ow, but oh, it's good, you know, and I just stay there, kind of trigger point on that spot. And I just breathe through it until it releases, and then I move to another point and stuff like that. And so for people, if you feel like you really can't afford a massage, at least afford a tennis ball and stick it between your back and the wall and work out some kinks with your tennis ball. And sometimes in massage, they're working on helping to loosen up the fascia, not just the muscles, but the fascia, the little tissue connectors and stuff in your body. And sometimes things like just doing stretches can release fascia in your body in ways that massage would be doing too. So here's an example. For anybody that wants to do this right now, you don't have to, but if you want to, of putting your phone down, and let's say you raise one of your arms, and you would raise it up over your head, but right now I'm putting it here so that you could see it, but you'd raise one of your arms over your head, and you'd grab your wrist with the opposite arm. So my arm is raised above my head, I've grabbed it with that opposite arm, and so this is the arm I'm using to grab, and I'm going to lean in the direction of that arm that I just used to grab. Like lean over, so you're stretching the arm that you're pulling pretty far, but don't do it till it hurts. Only do it till you feel sensation, not pain. Feel any tightness in the side body, feel any pop in your spine. All right, and let loose. Shake it off. Before you even do the other side, what are you feeling in your body? Does it feel different from one side to the other side? Does one side feel any lighter or any looser than the other side? Does one side feel any hotter or any colder than the other side? Any side feeling tingles or weirdness? Anything that you want to notice about how one side feels versus the other side. And now we'll take it the other way. So again, other wrist up, grab it with the opposite hand, and we're going to pull the arm with our body, and again, just till you have sensation, not pain. And don't be leaning over like this. Kind of try to keep straight. Only till you feel sensation, not pain. You might feel some pops in your back. You might feel some tightness in your shoulder and your armpit by your boob. It's all right. If you feel like you need to move with it like this, pump with it, you can. If you feel like just being still, you can. And when you feel ready to release, release. And do bloop, 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 bloop. Shake it out. Now how do you feel? Stuff like that. So you just did some things that worked with your body. You just loosened up your shoulder joints a little bit. You just massaged out some of the tight fascia that happens here in kind of that armpit type area and back of shoulder type area and side of body type area that sometimes can get stiff because we do a lot of sedentary stuff. Now you moved that. And you can be doing things like that. You can be doing other kinds of stretches that get to your lower body as well. All forms of your body, you can do like stretches that will help kind of move that fascia around. And those are things that get supported during massages. And if you feel like, right now you don't have the time and money for a massage, then you can do some things like that. The self-massage with a tennis ball for trigger point, and stretches to kind of free up your fascia a little bit. And those things can kind of hold you over in between professional visits. But it still would be good if you treated yourself once or twice a year at least to something professional. But just doing a little bit here and there like that, it goes a long way. It goes a long way. So just putting that out there for what it's worth. Now I'm going to keep reading and hydrate again. Hydrate, everyone. All right, let's see. Let me find where I am in the comments. No shit. Of course the chat jumped. Of course it did. Silverwolf. Husky arguments are the best because they're all like, wow, 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 wow. Stuff like that. And there's like, what are you saying? Oh, man. They're funny. I've never owned a husky, but they're funny. I'm glad that you thought that was helpful, Lauren, from before when I was answering your question and stuff like that. Lots to think about. So, yes. Very good. And Aaron Cooper said, ooh, nice numerology. Yes, it was. It was good. Cindy Momo says, nice, so relevant. And I hope I'm saying your last name right. I get into the whole, like, pronouncing things like Spanish all the time. So Mamos, but you might be like Mamos or something like that or something else. So I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your last name. So, sorry. Man. Let's see. Christina says, is there a website where we can get medium readings? In terms of, like, it depends on what kind of mediumship you want. So, like, for one, I tell people if they're trying to get some sort of gentle messaging or information or insights from their loved ones who've crossed over, I can usually do that with the tarot cards, even though I don't consider myself a medium in that I don't see spirits who have deceased, I don't hear their voices and things like that. If you want something that's more like super specific, like sometimes people want mediumship appointments where someone really can see them and hear their voice and say, like, they're saying this phrase, or they're seeing, I see that they look like this as a person, a short person with brown hair and blue eyes and whatever and stuff like that. That is not something that I am able to do. And I personally am not aware of someone that I would be able to refer you to that knows how to do that. There's a lot of people who suggest that they do. I personally have not found someone that I trust to be able to do that. There was one person at one point in time that I did trust to do that. But she, I don't believe does private sessions anymore. I think she just holds like classes and workshops for people. And back then, she was like $500 for 30 minutes or something, an incredible price, which, not saying she wasn't worth that because of what she could do. Her abilities were so rare such that I understand her value, and I support that. But I don't think she does private readings for people anymore because she was, so sought after even at that price range that I don't think she was able to continue. But I don't know people that are currently practicing that I think can do that type of mediumship, unfortunately, or else I would refer you if there was somebody that I knew of. There might be somebody in the chat knows of that can do something like that. So if anybody in the chat feels like of somebody that can do that level of like mediumship, and that they seem really trustworthy and really good at it, so that they would feel they wouldn't feel like they're getting scammed or something, then by all means share that in the chat. That's not a faux pas to me for you to share something like that. For Christina, if anybody is aware of anyone like that. Desiree Cavanaugh, hello, Desiree. Don't be sorry you're late. First of all, you're here. Second of all, you didn't even have to be here. Third of all, usually there's a replay. So there we go on that. I do need to be going sometime soon. I've been live for an hour and 27 minutes, and so I do need to be wrapping things up sometime soon. But let me continue to see if I can catch all the comments here, because I do like to catch up. Terry Moore, hello. Yes. Aaron says, I agree about the singing, like the channeling and the singing. Yes. All right. David, hello. Happy to have you here today. Let's see. Kat, hello. You said since it's been nice out, I've been taking lots of walks with my dogs outside. The fresh air has been helping me a lot. Yes. Fresh air. Fresh air is so underrated. Like, just to be able to get in some nice fresh air. It can do so much to really belly breathe nice fresh air. we just don't think about that so much. You know, if we have a means and a way to do that, then yes, absolutely. Great suggestion, Kat. We should be doing that. Yes. Dry brushing is a good idea, CZQ. Good idea. Marina C, hello. It's okay that you came in super late. There's always replays, first of all. And you are here now, even for the tail end. So, second of all, so great. And then, Marina C, I'm saying your name here. Hello. So I want to make sure I get to say your name so that you can be counted as present right now. Cindy, thank you. Mamus. Thank you. I knew I must have been pronouncing it wrong. I felt like I was pronouncing it wrong, so thank you for clarifying. I like to try to pronounce people's names correctly, and so I'm glad that you felt you were able to correct me and tell me the right way to say it. Mamus. Cindy Mamus. Good deal. I get into a thing where I see names that kind of remind me of Spanish pronunciations, and I go there, and then I'm like, that doesn't always mean it. That what are you doing? You know, and so I have to check in with people sometimes. So thank you for that. Alrighty. Oh, nice. Meditative music channel. That sounds good. Kat says, that is so interesting. I know some good tarot readers, but I don't know any mediums personally either. Now I want to start keeping an eye out. Yeah, it's tough because there's a lot of people, again, like myself, that doesn't necessarily consider myself a medium, but I do, get messages that seem to come from loved ones or loved ones' spirit teams or things like that seem to give some insights and information that helps out. So I do seem to be able to get something through mediumship means, but to be able to actually see and hear someone and be like, this is what this loved one looks like, and these are the phrases they're telling me. I feel like there's probably only like a small subset of people that can literally really do that. And so it's so rare that I don't even know of anybody that I could think of to refer someone to that I would trust on that. And I wish I could do that, but I can't, or I haven't yet. So I'm not aware that I could, if I could do that. So I would not be helpful in that way. Let's see. So Marina C says, I would highly recommend Laura Cifaldi as a medium. She's super sweet and very good at what she does. Well, I will write her name down because I want to keep that in my back pocket. And so you said Laura, and then the last name you spelled Cifaldi. I will write that down for future knowledge. Thank you for sharing that, Marina. Yeah, just call me Hen. You said, I know a lot of mediums, but so far none of them have impressed me enough to recommend them. Yeah, unfortunately, same. And I'm not trying to speak bad on people, people who maybe have, not impressed me much or disappointed me even, or made me feel like, I don't even know if they really connected for real to anything. That doesn't necessarily to me make me feel like their value as a person is any less, or that maybe they don't have some skills some other kind of way or whatever. They really might. I just, if I'm going to recommend somebody to someone, that puts my name out on the line, my neck out on the line, and I don't want to be, saying something that, you know what I mean? I want to do right by people, and so I like to be sure. So that's why I don't even talk myself up like, oh, I can do this and that, and blah, 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 blah. And if somebody's disappointed, oh, well, that was just that one person that's disappointed. Maybe your experience won't be the same. No, that's so salesman-y, and that's so, I don't know, that doesn't feel good. So I would get more business if I did stuff like that. Maybe I would make decent money if I did stuff like that. But I don't have it in me to do stuff like that. So I'll stay broke then. At least I'll be able to sleep with myself at night, okay? Okay. Aw, Terry Moore, yes, member for 31 months. It's incredible. Feels like yesterday and it's been 31 months. I feel like 31 months is so long I can't even think of it in my head. That's just crazy. Thank you for being a member for 31 months, Terry. Oh, wow. Yeah, Silverwolf said the same thing earlier. It's just crazy. Ah, it's so intense. Ooh, wind chimes with a gentle breeze. Silverwolf, that sounds wonderful. And thank you for my wind chimes. Yes. Oh, man. Ah, a lot of people in here are loving wind chimes, I'm seeing. This is good. This is good. Aaron says, wind chimes would make my tinnitus hard to deal with. Tinnitus. People say it different ways. But that, yeah, I imagine that might be like, all right, too much. I already got some ringing in my head. That's too much. Fair enough. Touche. Oh, man. Goodness. I've got a singing bowl down there. I just haven't practiced with it enough to like make it be super smooth. I use it when I'm doing trainings with people where I just hold it like this and dong, like that to get people's attention when they're doing group activities and I want them to reconvene as the whole group, like out of their little cluster groups and reconvene as a whole group. And I'm like, all right, let's reconvene. And people can't hear me because they're talking. Then I go, dong, with my singing bowl. And everybody's like, and I'm like, all right, so we're back into the room. Look into my eyes. Can you see my eyes? If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap 3 times. Try to get everybody back in the room. So, anyway. Oh, man. Singing bowls. It's either there or it's in my trunk with all my other training stuff. No, I see it down there. It would be really unhappy times for people who wear headphones, so I'm not going to do that right now. I haven't ever tried to do the thing in the microphone, so I don't know how loud or how crazy it would sound, so I don't want to do that to y'all. But yeah, so let's see. There's so many intuitive people / tarot readers in the past, like 3 generations. Maybe all the talented mediums are soon to come. Like maybe the next couple generations will be filled with them. Maybe. Oh, Christina said, so do you have a website I can look at, please? I'll put my website if you're asking about my website, but if you're, asking, I don't know the other people's website that we're talking about, but BeasTalksAndTarot.com. My website is BeasTalksAndTarot.com that I put in the chat just now. Knowing my limitations of like what I said. So again, I don't consider myself a medium in that I don't see people physically, hear people physically to be able to give that kind of exactness. And so if that is the kind of exactness that you need, I'm upfront to say that I don't feel that that's something that I can do. But if the other stuff feels good and okay for you, then absolutely I can do that. And some people choose to try to connect with their guides or energies around the person who's passed, and they may have other questions that come up that we're able to look at through tarot too. And so, you know, maybe that's something of interest to you. So no pressure, just think about it, marinate on what feels right for you. And I'm always around if people need me or want me. But yeah, no pressure. Let's see. Silverwolf, am I the only one that was clapping with me? I was just talking about how it is whenever I'm trying to get people to reconvene in a training space and things like that. So y'all are funny. Okay, yeah, so if you were asking about mine, Christina, it's there in the chat now, BeasTalksAndTarot.com. No pressure, of course. And Michelle Biederman, that's very nice. You said I had a personal reading and can vouch that you think I have an amazing gift. So that's very kind of you. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. For you vouching for me, that's very sweet. You certainly don't have to do that. So it's very kind if you chose to. So thank you. But yeah, so it's good getting to connect everyone. I've been live for an hour and 38 minutes now, so getting closer to the 2-hour mark, and I should probably go. And I will look at what I've wrote down on my little sticky notes. I remember that for the people at the very beginning of the chat that were talking about AI and worrying about artificial intelligence and feeling kind of scared and threatened by that and stuff, I said that I had done a tarot reading on artificial intelligence stuff before, the future of it before. So I will at some time, probably tomorrow, probably won't be today, but tomorrow I'll find that link and I will post it in the community tab on my YouTube page here. So if you go to my YouTube profile and you're looking at the top, it has like the about section, the video section, the live section. It'll have a community tab and you can go there and find that video. I'll try to post that tomorrow. So we'll have that there. And hopefully this video will stay up and have no problems with it staying up, so that whenever this live stream ends, the video will continue to be available from the start for anybody that joined somewhere, in the middle or end of the video and they want to see the whole thing. It'll be in there. We had a lot of good nuggets that we talked about this time, so I'm glad that we did that. So yes, thank y'all, everyone. Thank y'all. Aw, Kat said, and same, by the way, I had a personal reading this past week and it was phenomenal. Thanks for everything, B. Well, thank you. Thank you for everything too. You're very kind and I appreciate you. Yes, that was a good session. I know I talked at you too much, so poor Kat's ears. I was just like, blah, 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 blah. Kat's like, so it happens sometimes. It happens. But thank you. Big hugs to all of y'all, and thanks for being here on the live stream. Earth Spirit, hello. Oh, you said, hey, y'all, this is Silverwolf. This is my other YouTube channel, Meditation Music. Yes, so if you want meditation music, if that's something that interests you, then check out Silverwolf's other channel, Earth Spirit. Right there, you'll see it. It's just literally spelled Earth Spirit, 2 words. Capitalize E, capitalize S on Earth Spirit. So look up Earth Spirit channel. That's our Silverwolf here. Her channel for meditation music, for relaxing, if you like that, if that interests you. And so thank y'all for all of this, and glad that we were able to talk so much today, and I hope to see you on the next one. There will be a video coming up within the next, 3-4 days for May 2023 predictions. I'll be filming that at some point soon over the next handful of days, so I'll get that out to you. Replay coming to you in just a little bit, and tomorrow a link for the AI video for anybody that was wanting to kind of refresh themselves on what the card said with that back then. So got a lot coming at you. And thank y'all again for being here tonight. Big hugs to all of y'all. And from matching Penelope and I, love you, mean it. Love you, mean it.